Shining bright, sunshine in the sky. Megan and Tammy here to testify, spreading love, laughter and good vibes too. The Fat Girl Chronicles, we're breaking through. No more hiding, no more feelings.
Hey everyone, I'm Tammy.
And I'm Megan.
And together we are the
Fat Girl Flippers.
And this is the Fat Girl Chronicles, our podcast.
Yes.
And Megan will tell you a little bit about it.
Yes. So if you are on YouTube, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button and the bell so you're reminded every time that we post. We try to make it every Friday. And if you're listening to us, if you prefer audio, we are on almost all podcast streams: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean, Google Podcasts, it's all of it. I read the stat. I didn't realize that you could do, you could get a breakdown.
That was very interesting to see.
That was really cool.
We had more U.S. engagement than we did in Canada.
And we got to see California was the state that had the most.
But I wonder, is it because of the algorithm? It pushes it to that area because there's more content. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
More population, more content.
Never thought about that.
I don't know. I know that the way that the videos on YouTube especially. Oh, but that was podcast, wasn't it? That wasn't even YouTube.
Yeah, that was just podcast. Yeah.
Podbean statistics.
Yeah. So, and the podcast platform that people listen to us most from is Apple Podcast.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So it has to be someone other than me, because then I'm like, oh, maybe it's just me, but I don't typically download them, and my mother-in-law uses Podbean, so it is other people in the universe.
Interesting.
Somewhere.
My stepdaughter Candy, she listens to us. I'm not sure if she uses YouTube or if she's using a podcast platform. I'll have to ask her.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to know.
Does she have an iPhone? Or is it a Samsung?
I think she's a Samsung girly.
Yeah, so she wouldn't even be using. Huh.
Yeah, no,
It's
definitely
should be
not
Spotify.
Apple Pod. It'd be Spodcast.
Spodcast. Well, let's just start with how our week has been. Let's do that first, and then we'll get into today's topic.
I feel like we just discussed this, but
I know, but
so far so good. I'm feeling a little lonely. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
My main caregiver, or my main helper, is gone for a month, and Megan is gone for a couple of weeks, and Cheyenne, my secondary helper, is gone for 7 days, and they're all gone at the same time,
Which is true and very weird.
and very scary for me because I'm all alone.
Yeah, because there will be that one solid week where there's
Nobody.
But
I can get through a week.
you can get through a week.
Listen to me like I'm 5. It's like she's leaving me alone with the cat.
And of course, well, I mean, I won't be able, if something happens, I won't be able to obviously be here, but I'm always available, text or whatever. You should actually get the WhatsApp so I can.
I have it.
Okay, I'll add you to that because on the cruise, that's the only way I can communicate.
Yeah, I have it already.
All right, so remind me to add you.
Yeah, that's how I talk to a lot of different people.
Oh, okay. So yeah, lonely makes sense.
Yeah, just thinking about things, I guess. Kind of Overthinkers Anonymous. Hi, my name is Tammy, and I am an overthinker.
That one.
I come up with every possible scenario of everything that could go wrong and how I would solve that, so my brain has been very busy. That's naturally where it goes is, if this happened, what would I do? If this happened, who would I call? If this happens, what do I do? If this happens, who do I call? You know?
Yeah. Well, and that makes sense, when you think about...
But the reality is I'm here for weeks and weeks at a time and I never call anyone. So
but it is different, when especially when you're more isolated, it is easier to know, if I call somebody, they could be here within a half hour, right?
Whereas Megan will have to get a helicopter and, they'll have to land on the pool deck of the cruise ship. And, I really don't want to interrupt that Disney cruise, but if I have to,
Or you'll be sending pages
if I
to
can't
Leo
find
in Mexico.
I can't find my socks, then, I'm going to have to get Megan to fly out. No, it's not that bad, actually. It's just the thought of it that it just happened. Everybody was gone the same time. And when I found out, it was like my heart sank.
Yeah, because it is a weird coincidence.
And it's all the people I love. Like, I love having around, right?
Yeah. And it was, oh my gosh, Leo, it was so funny, like, driving.
Oh, yeah, because we took him to the airport. Oh, yeah.
Like, 2 a.m, I left my house and picked up Tammy.
At 2:30.
2:30, yeah. And then we picked up Leo, and there was that big raccoon in the middle of the road.
Megan's defensive driving skills are on point. I'm telling you, the largest raccoon I ever saw was dead, upside down on its back.
Oh.
Its nose was sticking up, and its teeth were sticking out. And it was huge, and I saw it coming at us, and Megan just swerved back in again, just like, and I was like, ooh, that was smooth.
And this was like, 3 a.m?
And no coon juice on the car.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
I will state it was previously ran over. It wasn't like Megan didn't smack it or anything.
No,
it was previously run over, but it had been soon because it was still like nobody had squished it and it was laying like this with all 4 feet in the air.
Yeah, poor guy. Poor guy. Oh.
You run the roads, that's the risk you take.
Circle of life. Tammy's like, circle of life.
No. Yeah. Circle of life is when an eagle comes down and eats the raccoon.
Oh, yeah, that's
not when
true.
a car hits it.
That's true, yeah.
Because a car is not part of nature.
Yeah.
We are.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
If we're out there killing a raccoon with our bare hands.
Oh my God, how did we get?
Like, neither one of us would kill a raccoon. We think they're adorable.
No, yeah. So so you're feeling lonely.
Yeah, just lonely. Yeah.
Yeah, just lonely.
This is a time of year generally when I feel like we're heading into the spring season, so winter's almost over, so it's a good time.
Yeah.
But it's also a time when I find a lot of people go down south or take their trips, and I hear about, oh, so-and-so's going to Belize, or, oh, my relatives are going to Belize, and I'm just like, oh, I wish that was me. And I miss my peeps so bad.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. As far as, I guess, my week, it does feel like we just did this.
We did.
We literally did. But to everyone else, we didn't.
No. For the camera.
To everyone else, we didn't.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you, I guess, how we
Your hair looks good. So you had your hair done.
Yeah, so I had my hair done, and he braided it, and so I just, like, let it out today, so it's, like, a little bit more, like, I don't know why I keep doing this, like...
Springy?
Yeah, like...
Full?
Or, what's that trend in the night? I think it was the night, like, the crimped...
Oh, yes, crimped.
Yeah, it kind of looks like that a little bit. Like,
yeah, it does.
Yeah, so I appreciate the braids because it does, like, help maintain my hair. I think the night before I go, Tuesday night, I'm going to braid my hair and then travel with it braided, and then on Thursday when we're doing LA, I'll let it out.
Do you have a sleep bonnet?
I have, like, a scarf that I could tie.
You should just go to the dollar store and buy a sleep bonnet. They have satin ones there.
Yeah, because that would help, eh?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you have your curls done, and it'll really
help.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's the one thing about curly hair. It's so hard to, like, the day after and stuff. So that's part of my week. What else?
I look bald. I'm not. I assure you I have a bun. I just look bald when you look at him. I'm like, oh my God, I look bald.
What did I do? Oh yeah, I just went and got my hair done, really. And then I packed Richard's stuff, so that was good. So that's
you have
all
to
done.
pack for him?
Oh my God, yes. He would be like, no. He would just...
He'd throw in a game controller and that would be all.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and it was funny because
funny.
we were putting away laundry and he saw, so we both have these sweatpants, we got them at Disney World, and they're the same one, like they're the same pant. They're just sweatpants, like unisex sweatpants. So anyway, he's like, oh, I'll wear those to the airport and I'll wear shorts like underneath or pack them in the suitcase so that way, like when we get to the airport in LA, we can just switch out. So then I was like, I'll wear mine. So now we're wearing the matching sweatpants. I'm wearing a black tank top. He's wearing a black t-shirt. And then he's got a gray Puma sweater. And I have gray Roots sweater. So we're going to be matching.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Be prepared. It may not be as hot as you think in LA. Because I was there in May.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like...
Well, that would be good.
Like, it wasn't sweating down hot like Florida.
That would be really good. Because I'm
more
not...
of a... And you're going to San Diego, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I'd prefer it to be, like, not chilly, but, well, chilly, yeah. Like,
it's still going to, like, I think if you check the temperature, it's probably double digits, but it's not going to be, like, I don't think it's 35 degrees there or anything.
Which is really good, because I'm not one that loves the heat.
Yeah, I know you don't like the heat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess that's really all... an update, just kind of getting ready. I had to get up super early Saturday, but we already discussed that. So, yeah.
That's all right. Did you come home and go to bed?
So I dropped you off. Oh my God. No, I have to tell this story. You shouldn't have asked me because I would have forgotten.
I didn't know you were behind me.
Well, I wasn't really. Okay, so...
you diverted to see what I was going to do, right?
No, well, because I was headed back to Halifax because I had my hair appointment. So
yeah.
I was just gonna, so I was headed that way anyway, but... So, okay, we leave the theater. So I had to pick up Tammy from, like, where we were picking up Leo. And then Tammy had to bring Leo's car back to here. So that's basically... After the airport is done, we both took separate cars.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Back to Truro. We drove back to our hometown where Leo's car was parked, and Megan dropped me off with the car.
Yeah.
And she went her separate ways, and I went mine.
Right. So I'm getting ready to, like... So you get out of the parking lot first, and you turn towards where I think you're headed towards, like, the back
Millbrook.
way of... into Millbrook.
I always make that mistake. Always.
So I'm like, oh, so she's going to go through, like, Truro Heights and then do the roundabout or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, that's fine. So I'm getting ready to turn, and all of a sudden I see Tammy's car turn off towards the ramp that is supposed to be going in the opposite direction she needs to go. And it's so funny. Like, the moment I was like, what is she doing? She just, from my perspective, she just, like, turns like it's nothing. Like, I just... The way I envision it in my head.
When you make a mistake, you just gotta go with it confidently. And that's what I did.
I was like, what is she doing? And then I started laughing and laughing and laughing because...
No more. I was laughing in the car because I was like, I hope there's one of those turning things.
So, because... Like that, you don't understand, like, Tammy, like, that is not a Tammy move. That is not, that's why it caught me so off guard, because that is not...
Why do you think that's not a Tammy move? I've done that so many times.
Really? I don't know, I just think, when I think about you, you always know where to go, like, you're good at directions.
I am, but that is so screwed up there.
I know.
It is. They should have made one, like, exit out of there. That is so screwed up.
Because the way it is like, there's two...
exits to get onto the highway.
But in different directions, and they're totally they're far apart.
Well, one only has access to get off of the highway, and the other one only has access to get on the highway.
So so it's not even like you can... Like,
there's
turn
not
around or anything.
two ramps at each of them, like on both sides. There's not two ramps. There's not an on and off ramp at each one of them.
Yeah, so it's very confusing. So anyway, so she goes off, and I'm laughing. So then I'm like, I'm driving up, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try to stay behind her a little bit, because maybe...
Did you think I had an Alzheimer's moment or something?
No, I just thought it was fucking hilarious.
Did you think I was going to Halifax to find Leo? Get him back.
I 100% knew, because that ramp is so confusing, and
yes.
I've done it before. It's so not you, and it is so mean.
I've done it so many times.
And so anyway, we're driving down, and I'm like, I'm gonna stay behind her just because, like, well,
Did you know what my maneuver was when I moved into the second lane?
So that's what confused me. So then I saw the truck went over to that lane for some reason, and then you went over, and I'm like, is there like something on the side of the road? And I'm like, no. And then so in Nova Scotia, I'm not sure what other highways look like, but in Nova Scotia, the big main highway, the Trans-Canada Highway, every certain amount of kilometers, I'd say, there's like, what would you call it?
Medians, like
Medians, yeah.
They're for official vehicles like police cars or ambulances or fire trucks. If there's accidents, there's like a crossing, like between the medians. There's an actual
like crossways, but it's for only like emergency vehicles.
And it says you can be fined, and that's emergency vehicles.
So
only.
Tammy's in the passing lane, just cruising along, and then I see her turn into this thing and then whip around, and I messaged her right away, and I was like,
"You're not a rule follower."
Yeah, no, I was like, rule breaker. Oh my! I'm telling you, I can't even describe it.
I laughed. I was laughing and laughing.
When you turned off.
And you beeped the horn at me, I heard it.
Yeah, but when you turned off, it was just, I can't even describe in words how funny it is in my head. It was just like,
don't tell Leo I was doing 90 when I made that turn. There may or may not have been a little rubber left on the road.
Oh my god, but it was just so funny. Like,
because I couldn't see where the ramp was because that truck was in front of me, so it came up on me quick. So I was like, I either got to take it or I'm driving to Brookfield.
Well, and that's the other thing. It's a fairly significant stretch between the Millbrook exit and the Brookfield exit. So like you would have driven for another 5-ish, maybe even 10 minutes.
12 kilometers.
Yeah, like it's a decent. So then you're like, and that off ramp is also very confusing. It's like the most confusing. Anyway, it was so funny. Oh my god, I laughed.
Well, we could talk all day about the weirdness of the Nova Scotia like highways and off ramps. Think of Millbrook. Those two, not Millbrook.
I was like, weren't we just discussing?
No, not Millbrook. It starts with M. Milford. That exit with the two roundabouts right side by side, and then there's a million different ways you can go. But to go to Halifax, you have to go way back. On the other.
Yeah, there's some weird.
Yeah, like we literally have a figure 8 roundabout on a secondary highway that has about 6 offshoots going off of it, and none of them go where you want to go.
Yeah, it's like it is bizarre.
Yeah.
It is bizarre, but like, oh my god. I can just see it in my head when your card, the little blue cards. Touch the exit.
Like I said, there might have been some rubber left on the road.
Oh my god.
I hope the trucker wasn't looking in his rearview mirror.
Oh my god, that was just that honestly made my day. But yeah, no, I ended up dropping you off and then going back to Halifax.
So you got did you get some sleep or no?
Yeah, so I slept for a couple more hours. And then
yeah, because I slept, and I actually managed to sleep right until you messaged me there at, I don't know, 1:30 or something, and asked me.
Oh, good.
And I had just woken up, so that was good.
Oh, right, because Leo gave you the update that he made it safe and sound.
Yeah, when I woke up, there was a message saying that he had made it home, so.
Good. Have you gotten any pictures or texts?
This morning I got a text from him, but no pictures or anything yet, no phone calls, so.
Okay.
I'm assuming he's just settling in and.
Yeah.
Doing his thing.
That's exciting.
Yeah, it is exciting. I'm glad for him.
I'm glad that he made it safe and sound. Yep. Did he get a good seat?
I didn't ask him. There was no chit chat. It was just because he doesn't have a SIM card in that phone. He's just using it for internet, so it's just Messenger.
Wi-Fi.
Yeah, just where he has. Yeah.
Okay.
So we were just chatting on, just quick chat on Messenger for now.
Nice.
I'm sure he'll, once he gets a little further into the trip and, gets all his fun out of him.
Yeah.
he'll probably video chat because that's what we did last year.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, our topic today, did you want to introduce our topic?
Sure, it's kind of like what we're talking about now.
Yeah.
Our topic is about friendships and making friends, keeping friends, how difficult or how easy it is to make friends in the different stages of your life. We just wanted to talk about that a little because I've been thinking about it a lot. A lot of my friends are not here, and I find that hard.
Right.
And I also find at the stage, like I'm in my 50s. I'm 56 now, not 57. 56. And I just find it's really hard to make friends or
Yeah.
meet friends
Yeah.
at this stage of my life because not really going anywhere or doing anything. And as I think I'm a millennial. Is that what I am? No, Gen X. I'm a Gen X.
Yeah, I can't.
I'm a
think
Gen Xer.
I'm a millennial.
Yeah, you're a millennial.
Yeah.
I'm a Gen Xer. Anyway, as the generation who grow up with like dances and all those things where you went to meet people, that's where there were always dances at the fire halls or the legions
Right.
or things like that. People socialized more
I couldn't
outside
even
of
imagine.
They did. Well, there was no, we didn't have internet.
Internet.
It was just the beginning of the internet when I was an adult.
Right.
I guess, yeah, I was like 19 when, in the late 80s when the computers started to come out.
Wow.
Yeah. I was the first class at business college to take data entry on those big old,
Oh, like the Dell.
the Dell things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And yeah, it was pretty brutal looking back now. But anyway.
Yeah, I think it's very hard to find friendships as an adult. I'll tell you a funny story. I recently have really connected with a coworker, and I found out that they had Mario Kart, like they have Mario Kart like as a game or whatever in their house. And so I said to Richard, I was like, I'm going to ask her if like I come over and play Mario Kart one day, like, and that's like a big thing.
That is a big thing for
Yeah.
you to ask. Wow.
Yeah. So I kind of sat on it for a bit, and then they had actually asked if I wanted to come out with them and a couple of other girls. So I was like, yeah. And then I kind of joked to her. I was like, it is really hard to make friends as an adult. And then I told her, like, I had planned to ask you, like, about Mario Kart or whatever. And she was, like, totally fine with that or whatever. So that was great. But it is, like, when you're kids, you're just like, hey, want to come over?
Want to come play at my house?
Yeah, want to come over and play at the playground? Or, like, it's so... No, it's not easy. I'm not going to say it was easy, but it certainly felt easier. Or felt more natural.
I didn't have, like, growing up, we didn't have friends really outside of the family. You had friends at school, but we didn't really, friends didn't come over at home.
Right.
And my cousins were my friends because they all lived around.
Right.
So it was weird in a way because we didn't have, like your chosen friends who were at school.
Yeah.
You weren't allowed to bring them home or,
Right.
there was no like sleepovers or any of that kind of stuff.
Right.
So it was hard as a child too. I was awkward and weird and not weird, but just, I don't know. I think my unique personality I was just different.
Yeah.
And growing up where I did, very, very rural, and having, like, wanting things differently, like wanting to travel and wanting to go places and see different things wasn't the norm for where I grew up. Most of the people I went to school with are still living here.
And they're content.
Yeah, they're married. They're married to the same people they were married to whenever.
Yeah.
And they're living, their house is paid for. They've got 2 cars in the driveway, and they have 2.5 children. And
Yeah.
their life looks like a dream. And I'm just like, here I am over here living in my tiny house with my cat.
Oh my god. Yeah. No, that's interesting. I had kind of the opposite, I guess, not opposite really, but a little bit. Like, I had a core group of friends that I had from like elementary, junior high, and then high school. We kind of went our separate ways. And some of those people are still very, very close. I have them on Facebook and stuff, so I like see updates there. But like on my dad's side, like we were very isolated from my dad's side, so like cousins weren't really around. And my mom's side, they all lived out west, so like again, didn't really, not until I was probably in junior high, maybe late elementary, junior high, they like some of my cousins would come for like summers at the cottage, my grandparents' cottage. So I got to have friendships with them there. But yeah, I would say like my main friends would be like, I had like a next door neighbor, and then I had like a core group of friends growing up. But I think like after like leaving high school, I don't remember having like any super, super, super close friends. And I think ever since then, I'm also quick to, I guess I really haven't dismissed too many people, but I'm also quick to like put my walls up too, I think. I don't know. Yeah.
But that's good, because boundary setting is important. And I mean, I know that I've had to cut people out of my life, and it's not easy, and it doesn't feel nice.
No.
But sometimes it is necessary.
Yeah.
Just because of, to protect your own mental health and your own sanity.
Yeah. I did. I think as an adult, I struggle with friendships, and this was also like throughout high school too. Like my biggest thing was I often made friends that it was like unequal. And so like this one friend, I can just remember like very, very, very selfish. Like she was very selfish, and she definitely took advantage. So like there's like a lot of like I've had to cut out that way. And I think as an adult it's hard because you want to like grasp anything that you can get your hands on too.
And I think that people go through different stages in their life, and they need more at sometimes than they do at other times.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're just in someone's life at the wrong stage,
Yeah, that's true,
you're not where you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Someone else is like, that's someone else's. And I truly believe by putting up our boundaries and keeping our own mental health safe, that we are also protecting that other person, because you're opening up an opportunity for them, for the right person to come into their life that they need.
Yeah.
Because like a lot of us try to fulfill, when we have friends, we try to fulfill the needs of our friends, and sometimes it's just not possible.
Yeah. And I think too, it's so hard, like as an adult, I mean, you see memes about it all the time, like trying to make plans, or like my friend Trista in Newfoundland, like when I left Newfoundland, she really, 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 really put in the effort to like make sure we didn't lose that friendship. Like
That's so nice.
Yeah, like and it's funny because I think about like people who I've lost contact with that I would have, like I had a really good core group of girlfriends in Newfoundland, and I've lost contact with most of them. Some of them every once in a while will chat, and I mourn that, like I grieve that. And I also feel guilty because it's like, did I let that friendship go? But then at the same time, it's two people.
Well, and the thing is, it's like I explained to you when we were talking about this earlier.
Yeah.
In each stage of our life, we go through needing different people in our life.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that if you met up with those people and you were over there in Newfoundland, I mean, it's the distance that's creating
For sure.
the problem,
Yeah.
a lot of the problem. But I'm sure if you went back there and you were living there and everything was the same, you would pick up the same.
Yeah.
But life's not like that. Life
it isn't.
changes and goes on, and we mature. And then you look back in 50 years and think, oh, those were my friends back when I used to live here.
Yeah.
Just like me. Like, I mean, I think I really learned how to be, because I don't think I ever learned during childhood or early adulthood, but I learned in Belize how to be a good friend. Like, how to...
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And I think the friendships that I formed there, I think I will have the true friendships, I think I will have for the rest of my life. Like, I really feel that way.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
You want to talk a bit more about that?
I think about Twinny, who's now, she's not in Belize, who's one of my very best friends ever. She's the brown egg, I'm the white egg. We're two twins. And I mean, I love her with all my heart. And she's in Edmonton right now. And it's so close but so far away. Because it's just as far away as being in Belize. And almost every time we talk, we end up talking about, I wish you could come here, I wish you could come here. You know, like we miss each other. But it's just not possible.
Yeah.
Same as when I talk to some other people in Belize. I feel like it's, like, I know that if I went back, these people would be, you know, it would be the same.
Yeah.
Or very close to the same. But I know that that's not going to happen, and it's hard. Maintaining friendships is hard.
Yeah, especially as an adult. Because you're adulting.
Well, it's literal work, right?
Yeah.
You got to put in the work because...
You got to put in the work.
I mean, and I find it hard sometimes, I will be honest. I get easily overwhelmed. Like, if I get 2 or 3 text messages all at the same time from different people, I have to sometimes put it aside. And who was talking about this? About taking forever to answer messages.
It's likely me, because I do.
No, somebody was talking about it, and we were there. I don't know if it was Leo or who it was, but anyway, doesn't matter. But I do that sometimes too now. I have to take a minute because I get overwhelmed if I've got like 5 people wanting my attention.
Yeah.
And I feel like they need to have my attention all at once.
Yeah, it's overwhelming.
So then I wonder, do I look like a bad friend because I read their message and they can see I've read their message, but I don't answer them right away?
Yeah.
Do they think I hate them? You know, like, Overthinkers Anonymous is at it again.
Right. I struggle with that as well. Like, and I often think of people, like I have a friend like in Toronto area who will go see movies together. I went to see some of her kids' hockey games, like, and she's a really good friend. Like, I adore her. And I think of her often, but we don't talk as often. Like, we can go months with, you know, barely any messages or without seeing each other or whatever. And yeah, like, I think the same thing. Like, I'm like, oh, shoot, type of thing. But I mean, you can only do what you can do.
Yeah. And like you said, we're adulting, we're living our lives. There's, you know, and I mean, you're dealing with work. It's hard.
It is hard to keep those friendships. Yeah, it is hard.
One thing I try to do, though, is even if it's short conversations, I try to keep in touch. And I always try to remember people's birthdays and things like that.
Yeah. Facebook is good for that.
Yeah.
Facebook is really good for that.
A lot of my friends in Belize don't have, like, or they have Facebook, but they don't, you know, they don't list all that stuff.
Yeah.
They're not like us. They don't throw out all their identification. I shouldn't say that. Some of them are. But, yeah. So try to celebrate them on their special day. And usually that's when I hear from a lot of people.
Yep.
And when I don't hear from people I consider my friends, I just think the same thing. It used to really bother me. I'd be like, oh my God, are they mad at me or whatever?
Yeah.
But now I literally just think in my mind, oh, they're busy or they're doing this or they're doing that or, you know, whatever. They're working. Or...
Yeah. That makes sense.
It would be my dream to go back to Belize next year when Leo goes back to Mexico. It would be my dream. I can't...
Just have to make it a reality.
Yeah. It's just with the wheelchair thing, and Belize is not accessible, so it's so hard to you know, where, I guess wherever I end up, I'm going to stay there. Like,
Yeah.
I'm used to the Belize I know, or the Tammy that everybody knows from Belize, is seeing me with a backpack sitting at the bus station waiting to catch the bus to go
Right.
somewhere else
Right.
in Belize just for fun.
Right.
Because that's what I used to love to do. Because the buses are so cheap.
And you just go.
And go and and find like a cute little cabin or a, you know, or a room, a cheap room for the night or something, and then explore around. That's how I got to see most of Belize, because I just
Wandered. That's very you.
I would just literally some days be laying in bed or whatever, and I'd think, I'm bored, I want to go somewhere today. And that would be it. Throw the backpack together, slap some clothes in the bag, and get on the bus. And it would just be, you know, and I might be gone for one night, I might be gone for a week.
Right.
Because I didn't have the responsibility of, it was just nice.
That sounds like really fun. So like how do you make friends then now?
I find now, it's online.
Yeah. I hear someone was asking about like almost like an app, like a dating app, but for friends. And I think Bumble, is it Bumble that's a dating app?
Bumble is a dating app.
Apparently there's like I don't know if it's a version of Bumble or it's a Bumble-like, but they said there's something around, but it's for friendships.
Well, there's one on Facebook, and it's called, excuse me if I get this wrong, but I think it's called Singles of Nova Scotia, but it's not like, it's not hardcore like dating. Most people on there, I notice they do like friend, you know, like they'll say, like there's a girl that goes on there and she'll say, okay, tonight we're going out to the like Micmac Tavern. Anybody who wants to join us, come along. And I've seen that they've had like big turnouts of people. So that's one way, I guess, people, if you were in the city, that's another thing. In the city, it would be easier because there's transportation and things.
Yeah. I also think like, I think about like the lemonade stand and...
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. Michelle hunted me down.
Really?
Yeah, that's kind of a funny story. How I had posted in frustration, because I don't usually post on Rant and Rave, but I had posted on Truro Rant and Rave about CTCL and or was it Layton's? I think it was Layton's, because the taxi was broke down and there was no
Layton's. Yeah, it was Layton's.
Anyway, Michelle from Lemonade Stand saw it and literally hunted me down and found somebody that knew me, because my Facebook is locked up, right? Right. And we hit it off big time, and she's in a chair and similar ages, and we both have estrangement issues with the son, and you know, like so we got a lot in common, and we really got along really well. So I'm hoping I am doing some things with her while you're gone away.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Yeah.
So it's like finding people that have the same interests. Because it is really, like, because you're right, we don't really have... Well, you know what, there are some dances that go on, but it's just you don't really
and it's, I find it's just starting to go through that cycle again, and it's a different generation, I think, that's...
like, there was that dance while I'm gone that I would have went to.
That I would have wanted to go, yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean... When I say there were dances, these things were like, because I used to bartend at the North River Fire Hall. These were wall-to-wall packed. You had to like have somebody at the door counting the number of people, because there was only a certain amount allowed in. And I mean, it was like, if you had one at the Debert Legion, it would be everybody from Belmont and Debert and their partners would go. Yeah, it was huge. And it was people from their 20s right up to their 60s.
Yeah.
And back then, people knew how to dance, like to do polka, to do waltzes, to do like, you know, they really knew how to dance.
Not so much today.
No. Not that, I mean, there's a lot of twerking that goes on, and I mean, gotta say, there's a certain art to the twerk.
I'm just like, I don't even know how I dance. Not fancy. Just like, For anyone who's just listening, I'm just like waving my arms around. Two, 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 two. You should get Lemonade Stand to do silent disco.
We've been looking to go to an event to silent disco because to hold our own, we don't have any money and
Oh yeah.
So anybody out there in Truro who has an accessible place that they would like to donate for the evening.
Silent disco would be. I'm looking forward to that in the cruise. Like
I want to try some different things. So yeah, I'm looking forward to maybe branching out a little bit and getting out of my shell because I spend a lot of time alone. Not that I'm unhappy about, because I love being in the tiny house and I do like my alone time.
Yeah.
But I also like to have fun with friends. And I heard from Paula today, and she actually wanted to go out today. And it was kind of ironic that I heard from her because I was, thinking, yeah. But hopefully we'll be able to get together.
Yes.
'Cause I really enjoy her company too.
Yes, we should have invited her onto the podcast.
Oh, that would have been fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Maybe
never
next
thought.
time.
I never thought of that.
Yeah. Yeah, it is hard.
I'm proud of you though, because over the last couple of years, I see you really pushing the limits of your boundaries to try and go out and do social things. I see it, and because the Megan I knew before, that was not. Megan spent her time with her mom and her sister, and that was pretty much it.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I find a lot of social stuff overwhelming, and I find it is hard to maintain those friendships, and so, yeah. But I really it felt good this morning to get up and go for brunch with a group of girls, because I haven't done that in forever, and it that did feel good to do, especially when I read a lot of books, as everyone knows, and a lot of times the main characters, they have this group of girlfriends, right? And it's I do miss that from Newfoundland.
And I can tell from your pictures of Newfoundland when you guys were all together that you were
we were a solid group.
I'd love to go to Newfoundland.
Yeah.
With you. I think that would be a fun trip.
It would be. And Newfoundland's you've never
I've been.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, I do love Newfoundland. But it is hard. Through work is I guess where I would say you can build friendships. It's hard to go from a work, and those are where Trista came through work. That's
of course, yeah.
A lot of friendships.
That's mostly
where
people. That's what I was saying about you being in the different stage of your life where you're. You're in your career and then you've moved jobs a couple times. Yeah. So you meet new people and it creates new friendships.
Yeah. Yeah. It's true. And it's so funny because everyone's super connected too. Where the organization I've been working at forever, the person that got me into that organization is also connected to these group of girls. Mm-hmm. So it's everyone's kind of connected, which is kind of interesting, but
it's neat because the place that I lived last, I made friends with two ladies there.
Yes.
And this is what happens. I lose trust really easy, and because this one particular lady who pretended to be my friend turned out not to be my friend. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it sounds stupid as an adult to say that, but it really hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
And she did some really hurtful things.
Yeah.
But the other lady that I met, Carla, has been an absolute delight. We have made so many connections on so many levels.
Yeah.
I really, really enjoy her company. And we realize we have so much in common, age-wise, where we grew up, who we know, so I really enjoy her as well. So, I mean, I guess I've made some friends, too, along the way.
Have.
In the last couple of years. Better than before.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's because my focus has shifted from I must have a man in my life to I don't care if I have a man in my life.
Right, and you just want... I think at the end of the day, all of us just want connection. I think that, that at the end of the day is what it is.
Yep.
But yeah, no, you
not
definitely
saying if the right man comes along. I'm I'm not closing that door.
The door's not closed, but we're
The
not
door
actively
is
like.
the door is open. I'm just not standing at it waving all day.
Yeah, which is, I mean, when it happens, it'll happen type of thing.
Yeah, and if it doesn't, I'm okay with that.
Yeah. And what you said, something that triggered something. I was just gonna say, like, kind of similar to what you said earlier, at, like, different points in our life. Mm-hmm. We get different things out of friendships.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because, like, with friends, it can be hard, especially if you struggle with mental health, because you do tend to connect with others who may be similar, which is great. Like, you have someone who understands.
But it can also put extra stress on that person.
Right, or it could become
Or you.
really just toxic, right?
Yeah.
And so that's the other thing. It's like you want a friendship or a friend that's like could be similar but also different.
I know for me, going through my healing journey with counseling and all the things that I've done over, I'd say, the last 5 years working on myself, I've learned that some friends are here for a reason and some friends are here for a season, you know, and...
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, and, you know, some people might only be short term, you know?
Yeah.
And
that's fair.
I used to have a hard time with that, but then I learned that that's okay because it's not your job to fix everybody, and not everybody is your people.
Yeah. And it's hard because the friendships that are there for the season, like you said, are usually the ones that are like hard and fast. Like you got like are stuck attached at the hip.
Yep.
You know, like those really involved friendships.
Like I can't imagine that there would ever be anything that would come between us. I can't imagine. I feel like I'll be some
it'd have
old,
to be pretty serious.
I'll be some old lady in the nursing home, and Megan will be bringing in something for me.
But yeah, no, I like that. Some friends are here for a reason.
And some friends are here for a season.
Oh, that's such a good outlook.
Yeah, and it's absolutely true.
Yeah.
And when you let somebody go from your life, remember that you're opening up that space in their life so that the right person can come in for them that they need. And it might be hard, and they may not realize it at the time because they may not be... I felt like my healing journey, sometimes I was ahead of people, and then sometimes people were ahead of me.
Yeah.
And that can create friction in the friendship, because if you're at different stages of healing, then things hit differently.
Yeah, and that, I guess that's, you know, it's funny, like, even with my friendship, like, even, like, with my friendships within the workplace, like, that's why it's so important to, you know, when you're talking about things, you're trying to make those friendships into friendships, like, talking about things other than work, you know what I mean? And the same thing with, like, mental health. If you really bond, like, trauma bond with someone, again, that can be really helpful because you guys might be able to understand each other's experience and everything like that, but it can also really make the relationship, like, toxic or codependent, or like you said, it could turn into competition, like who's healing, quote unquote, better who's not, you know?
Yeah.
So it can be risky that way, but I think that's how we should end this, is like friendships for a reason, and
that can be the title for our video.
Yeah, I do like that, and I think it puts it into perspective, and I think it allows people
and not to
grieve.
beat yourself up, or not feel bad if, you know, if you lose a friend, or if you have to let a friend go, because, you know, you'll know that the time is right.
Yeah.
Even though it's difficult.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But in terms of making new friends, there are some, like, community events that happen. Work.
It's just hard to get to them.
Yeah.
Work, for sure.
Work, but I was just thinking, like, I'm trying to think about, like, attending organizations or events that are things you're passionate about, like how Michelle connected with you around that accessibility issue, and how that's kind of blossomed into...
Yeah, and we're actually taking a course and going to a luncheon for accessibility. And
fancy. But yeah, no, I think that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else you'd like to add?
No,
No.
just never stop trying to make friends because, friends are important. It's important for our mental health.
Yeah.
Everybody needs a social circle, even if it's small.
Yeah.
So even if you could just get 2 little friends.
And before we go, should we acknowledge you got our...
Yes!
These are our thrifted shirts. This is my lucky shirt. And then yours...
Happy St. Patrick's Day!
So for those who can't see her, it's got a picture of a cat. That, like she said, this is Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Because I'm the crazy cat lady. I didn't even get Arch an outfit.
That's shocking.
I know, because he always has an outfit for every occasion.
That is shocking.
I'm sure he has up in his outfit box. I'm sure he has a St. Patrick's Day, or even underneath there.
Oh, I'm sure he does because he has one
He
for
has every
everything.
occasion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, until next week. Love you.
Mwah.
Testify, spread love, laughter and good vibes too. The Fat Girl Chronicles, we're breaking through. No more hiding, no more feeling small. We're taking up space, standing proud and tall. Our voice is strong, our stories to be heard. Challenging the stereotypes, flipping the world, the chronicles of